Board for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6. On January 9th, 2025, proper notice was sent to the Courier News and the Star Ledger, filed with the clerk at the Township of Bridgewater, and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Please be aware of the Planning Board policy for public hearings. No new applications will be heard after 9:30 p.m., and no new testimony will be taken after 10 p.m. Hearing assistance is available upon request. Accommodations will be made for individuals with a disability pursuant to the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, provided the individual with the disability provides 48 hours advance notice to the Planning Department Secretary before the public meeting. However, if the individual should require special equipment or services, such as a CART transcriber, 7 days advance notice, excluding weekends and holidays, may be necessary. Would everyone please rise to salute the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Simone, could I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Chairman Vescio.
Here.
Mayor Mensch, for the record, is not here. Councilman Kirsch, for the record, is not here. Mr. Pappas?
Here.
Mr. Magora? Here. Ms. Sikora?
Here.
Mr. Banga?
Here.
Ms. Chartowitz?
Here.
And Mr. Chowdhury, sorry. And for the record, Mr. Atkins is not here. Ms. Sermard?
Here.
For the record, Mr. Burr is not here. And Mr. Peck is not here. Can you, I'm sorry, you told me you were coming, but I didn't.
It's Katie Fina. For the record, it's K-A-T-Y. Last name is Fina. F is in Frank, I-N-A.
Thank you, welcome. And for the record, Councilman Kirsch just walked in.
Thank you, Mr. Simone. Looks like we have a roll call. At this time, any members of the public wishing to address the board on any matter not listed on the agenda this evening may come forward at this time. Seeing no members of the public, we can move on. We do have a few sets of board minutes this evening. We're going to begin first with the minutes from May 20th, 2025 regular meeting. Any comments or changes to the record?
Move approval.
That's Mr. Pappas, and I'll have a second.
Second.
That's Mr. Kirsch, Councilman Kirsch. Could I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Magora?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Ms. Chartowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Banga?
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury? And Chairman Vescio.
Yes. Moving along, we have a set of executive meeting minutes from May 20th, 2025. Everyone should have received the envelope in their packet. At this time, if there are any comments, I believe any comments, Ms. Fina, will executive session. If not, any changes, comments, or change to the record?
Move approval.
That's Mr. Pappas. Could I have a second, please?
I'll second.
That's Ms. Chartowitz. And a roll call.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mr. Magora? Yes. Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Ms. Chartowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Banga?
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury? And Chairman Vescio.
Yes. Moving along, we have one application this evening, and that's for Racks and Restaurants, application number 21-024-PB. And who will be representing the applicant this evening?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Jason Tubell, attorney for the applicant. This is an application that was approved by the board in, I believe, by resolution of November of 2021. The application was pretty straightforward. It was to modernize the existing Burger King located at the site to comply with Burger King's newer standards in terms of architecture and layout. Our client is the franchisee. They have to comply with Burger King's standards. So 2 reasons why we're here. We have gone through resolution compliance with our engineer, so all the compliance items have been finalized. The delay has just been twofold. One, was just the typical COVID delays that occurred for all businesses. The third was this property is actually comprised, or this site, of 3 lots, lots 1, 2, and 4 on block 317. The leases for all 3 were not in concert with one another, where 1 was set to expire and 2 were long-term. The applicant worked diligently with the third one to extend it. However, the principal of that entity passed away. They had to work through some testamentary issues. Now all 3 leases will expire in 2036. So my client has a good 10 years on its lease to invest in the upgrades to the Burger King. So our goal is to file for building permits, hopefully within the next month or 2, since we're already done with RESO compliance, and hopefully start construction either by the end of next year, by the end of this year, or early next year. So we're asking for an extension to be safe through November of 2026, but we're hoping that construction will commence a lot sooner than that. So that's really why we're here, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Thank you, Mr. Tavell, and thank you for the review and catching us up on November of 21st, 2021. And at this time, any members of our board, we did receive a packet. If there are any questions for Mr. Giselle, that'd be great. That'd be time to do it.
Are there any changes to the 2021 plan?
No, not that I actually asked the client that. It would be consistent because I know that the architecture and the neighborhood impact review for this area was very comprehensive. Ms. Doyle, when she was here, made us go through that. So it would have to be in line with the prior approval. And like any approval, if there's any material change, we'd have to come back to the board, but I don't believe that there are any.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, that Burger King has been there a long time. I went there as a teenager, and hasn't changed since then, so good luck to you, sir.
Any other questions or comments? How about from our professionals?
I just have one question. The letter in the application had requested the 3 one-year extensions as of
Right.
right now. I don't know, it's usually customary that the applicant would come back, would request 1 extension for 1 year.
Right.
So it's truly up to the board, I guess, and the board's attorney if they think, what they think is best to
Right,
do.
but this would be, the reason we did that was because it would have expired in 2023. So we're retroactively, as the statute permits, doing the extension from 23 to 24, from 24 to 25, and just conservatively asking the board.
Okay, so just this is the last year you have to do it.
Correct,
Got it.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you.
And that is legally permissible, as he said.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarmed. Yes, Mr. Chowdhury, please.
So, to be honest with you, I'm just looking at the drawing now. You will not reduce any parking spot or anything?
No, whatever's on the site plan that was approved by the board, that will not change.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really just an upgrade to the facade, if I remember, some of the signage and the interior layout.
Right. Obviously, I travel to Staples almost every week. It may not be having anything to do with that, but when the car comes in, because people go from either that direction, Staple direction, or come out here, there is a speed breaker there, as you probably have seen it, but probably that is, it's not enough. Maybe we should have another speed breaker on the front or so, because the people do, come with the close to the cars from both sides coming in. It's actually because of the hump there, people cannot see it. Actually, I don't know whether it is a township issue or Burger King should address it. I'm just asking you.
Mr. Chowdhury, is that on Findurn Avenue, what you're referencing, this speed bump? Or you're requesting that a speed bump be reviewed for?
Yes.
It's a county road.
It does have a problem with that.
That would be a county issue at that point.
Okay, no problem, as long as I know.
Anybody else? Opening up to any members of the public that wish to ask any questions related to this testimony. Seeing none, that'll close the public portion for this applicant. Any closing comments?
Yeah, it's a long.
Okay. With all conditions being met, I'll take a motion for approval of the extension.
I'll make the motion.
That's Ms. Sikora. I'll need a second, please.
I'll second.
That's Ms. Chartowitz. And a roll call, please.
Mr. Pappas.
Yes.
Mr. Magora.
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch.
Yes.
Ms. Sikora.
Yes.
Ms. Chartowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Banger. Mr. Chowdhury. And Chairman Vessio.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Savell, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Moving along, thank you very much to Mr. Simone, as you provided us a status of all the meetings that are coming in the foreseeable future. That's very helpful throughout the summer here. Any questions or comments, or if anybody knows ahead of time that they won't be available for these meetings?
What time is next week? Is it at 7? Okay.
And just to bring the board into a conversation, some conversations that have occurred on this. What's our number of attendees right now?
Right now, we have 6. So I think we were down to 5, and then somebody else stepped up and said they were coming. So now we're back up to 6.
All right.
You do mean for a quorum, correct?
Yeah, well, it's not just for a quorum. It's, this is arguably one of the most important issues to face Bridgewater Township, and, certainly having as close to full participation from the board, both because of the value that that participation brings and because of the, the optic. I think as many of these seats filled on the dais as possible is a very, very high priority. So, if you're not around, you're not around. If, it's a gray area and you might be around, and again, I might be speaking to the converted here, maybe as we discussed late last week, a conversation with one or two of the others to see if there's even any flexibility to, fill in another seat or two.
I've asked Mr. Kirsch, I've asked Ms. DeSimone to just confirm by phone each member for next week. So she's, I've been, with her help, been attending to that to make sure that we have sufficient membership.
Would it be inappropriate to list the names of people who will attend?
Well, I plan to attend.
We can take a roll call.
I didn't know there was a choice.
I'll be here.
Ms. Chowdhury? Yes?
I'll be traveling.
Mr. Banga? Okay, thank you. Ms. Chartowitz?
Yeah, I can't make it.
Okay. Ms. Sikora, you said
Yeah,
yes?
I'll be here.
Okay. I'm sure Mr. Peck or Ms. Fina should be here.
Yes.
Okay, I myself will be here. I'll stay off the soccer field. Councilman Kirsch?
Yes?
Okay. Mr. Magora?
Yes?
Okay. Mr. Pappas?
Yes, sir. I'll
Okay.
be here.
And we'll check in with Mr. Wang. And not sure if,
Mr. Wang had emailed me just the other day and said he was going to be attending.
Okay, so he will be attending.
Yes, and I had Mr. Magora down for a no, and I'm sorry, so that makes 7.
I'm sorry, that he will be attending.
Oh, so we're at 7.
Okay.
Said he was coming, I had him down as a no.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize.
All right, so we're at 7 with
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with Wang.
2 absent and 2 unaccounted for.
And
Yep.
the last email I had with Mr. Atkins, he was not able to attend.
All right, so, and then
We're good, we're 7. Any idea if the mayor would be in attendance? Are we sure, any idea if the mayor would be in attendance? Okay. So we're really, okay, Wang will be here, okay. That's a solid 7 then, okay. Okay, I don't think we need to beleaguer that point any further. Thank you very much, Councilman. Any other questions regarding next week's meeting? It's on a Wednesday night, just to mark your calendars, not a Tuesday, but a Wednesday night.
Can we assume that the 2 in July won't, or on August 5th, won't have any business? Okay. Yep.
Ms. Sarma, there was talk about potentially lending July 15th to another board. Is that something that is still necessary?
So the applicant's attorney was not available that night. So
Okay.
we do have that night open. Initially, we had thought about doing the master plan in conversations with administration and Mr. Pappas and staff. July is probably not the best month to roll out a master plan from attendance purposes for the board members, as well as getting out members of the public. We want feedback, we want,
Right.
involvement. So that's probably going to be in the September meeting we have. September 16th is the only meeting because of Labor Day. So we'll likely be teeing that up for September 16th, so that we can get out plenty of time, and that we'll have, everyone should be around for that. So that's moved back a little bit, but I think it's for a good reason.
Is there a brief summary that we can receive in advance to review for the master plan? Or-
For the housing element, we have that on file. Maria will share that electronically with this group. It's a very large document, so we will not be providing print copies unless you do request it. But just know that with the appendices, it's probably 600 pages. It's huge. Again, Darlene Green will be the one who is the township's affordable housing planner. She will be putting on the presentation the night of the 25th and presenting to this board a housing element for adoption. Maria, I think we should send that out as soon as possible to the board members so they have it. It is on file currently as a hard copy in the planning office, but you will all receive, again, the electronic copy for review well in advance of the 25th, I guess, tomorrow, a week before. As far as the master plan, we're going to have that likely out in August, again, electronically probably for the volume of that document, and then everyone will have a chance to review that thoroughly before the September meeting.
Okay.
Of that big packet that's coming, is there a suggested grouping of material that we should focus on before the meeting?
I will let you know the page numbers. I'll let Maria know when she distributes it to the board. There is, obviously, the housing element will go through the entire history of Bridgewater's affordable housing compliance to probably the 80s. So there's going to be a good volume in the front end of the report, which is still important, but the focus will likely be on the fourth round and the impacts of that and any of the associated documents with that. So I will direct the board's attention to where that happens in the report, so you can look at that specifically.
Great.
The document is about 80 pages,
Okay.
and, yeah, and I've read it, and
You mean
it's
the
the housing element, not the appendices, just the actual,
Got it. That's better.
so you could go through it, and it's well done. As Catherine said, there's a lot of historical information about it, and
Great.
very good, very well done.
I agree with that, yes.
Have any significant number of individuals or any groups contacted the planning office about showing up next week? Do we anticipate any public engagement or of any meaningful size? Okay.
No, and just so the board is aware, and you'll hear this from Darlene as well, any interested parties that submitted a letter to be included in the housing element, it's a requirement that they be recognized in the housing element, that whether or not they were included, so you may see developments that were, or properties that were not actually included to fulfill the obligation mentioned in the plan, because it is a requirement to discuss that a letter of interest was provided, what their proposal was, and why it was or was not included in the plan. I assume, but I do not know for certain, if any of those property owners that were not included in the plan may attend that meeting. There also is, so the board is well aware, with the deadline stipulated through the amended Fair Housing Act, there is an objection period or a challenge period to the housing element, so they may appear just to reserve their rights to that or to hear what the township's plan looks like, or they may reserve their comment to that objection period. They have a 2-month objection period from July to the end of August. So but as far as I know, we have not gotten any heads up that anyone would be attending.
Mr. Sobel, that was just representing, oh, Tuvel, sorry. He did mention that he will be attending next week's special meeting.
Okay.
Just the other point to remember is that the township is required to submit this to the state program before the end of June. So we have one night to consider this and to act. And if not, then the township's not in compliance with this very critical a part of this process.
Any other questions regarding next week? Any other questions regarding any of the meetings throughout well, no, not in the summer, but August or September? Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Make the motion.
That's Ms. Sikora. A second, please. That's Councilman Kirsch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, everyone.